On September 11th, I was in Montreal attending a conference of all the airport CEOs in the world, and at the time I was actually in my room writing notes for a little bit of a speaking engagement that I had during the conference and reviewing them, and I had the television on, and so I saw it, and of course, like everybody else at first, thought it was just a horrible accident.
Of course, as the second one hit, it's even more shock and disbelief, and then you knew something really big and bad was happening.
After that, really the next thought was, I better get into work. This is not good. There are planes obviously hitting the Twin Towers, and this obviously is going to have an effect on the aviation community.
I walked immediately into our airport operations center and checked in with our shift manager just to see if he'd heard the news too, and then we started to collect more information on the situation. I received a phone call from Nav Canada, the air navigation services provider here. They indicated that there were some airspace closures, the airspace was closing down, and the first request was how many aircraft could Vancouver Airport take. So we had to do an on-the-spot calculation and give them a number so that they knew what they could divert into Vancouver. And from that point forward, it was just managing the flow of traffic and developing a plan to land the aircraft, stage them, and then eventually bring them into the terminal building for offloading throughout the day.
34 aircraft en route to North America over the North Pacific, carrying more than 8,000 passengers, were diverted here to YVR.
So we had thousands and thousands of people, confused travelers, not knowing when they were going to be able to get on their flights, what was happening. We were asked to go down on the floor and start helping with passengers that were going to be delayed. We basically downed tools from our normal jobs, and we went into a customer care role to make sure that the people that were in the airport were able to have some questions answered as best we possibly could. Of course, at that time, that early time, nobody had any answers.
Didn't worry about pulling their luggage off the aircraft. It was just to get the people off the planes, to get them more comfortable. We were actually sending catering out to the planes while they were waiting and queued up to offload here at the airport, because you can imagine some of those planes actually sat out there for 6 to 8 hours.
This airport stands out as a symbol of what neighbors and friends do when adversity strikes.
The phones were ringing off the hook with people saying, you know, if you need somebody needs a bed for the night, you know, we're here, we live in Richmond, this is our phone number, let us know. And so through the chaplain's office and our customer care team, we placed a lot of people through that means.
Volunteers showed up here handing out water, blankets, clothing. Salvation Army was here. Various social service agencies from Vancouver and Richmond. Of course, the police and fire were here and very cooperative. So it really was a tremendous team effort.
So here's an aerial shot of our tent city. So here you'll see the tent set up with the bridge going over to the domestic terminal, which was under construction at the time. This would have been international passengers waiting to be able to go over the bridge here to the international terminal. I think it was such an extraordinary, unique situation. Passengers were amazingly patient, and after a while I think people learnt to just say, okay, we don't know when we're going to get out of here, so we might as well make the best of it. I'm quite certain that there were some new friendships and, you know, who knows, maybe even some romantic relationships. We had an absolutely incredibly unique situation here at YVR. Nobody obviously expected it, but it was an opportunity for the YVR community to come together, and boy did they ever.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Larry Berg, the President and CEO of the Vancouver Airport Authority, and we're here to hold a brief ceremony this afternoon commemorating the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. That's 10 years ago today. I'd like to welcome Anne Callahan, the United States Consul General.
I'd like to present this plaque to YVR. How could you ever adequately thank people who are there for you in this way and countless others? You can't. Because what we saw on that day was not a one-off expression of help, but another example in a continuum of neighborliness and assistance that bespeaks shared values, common goals, and a mutual belief that we are in this to build a better world together.
In closing, we'd like to end this special segment here at Live at YVR by thanking the thousands of airport staff and community volunteers that provided their support and comfort during the tragedies of 9/11.